back to an all new episode of A Breath of Fresh Lies. I am your girl Tanika with the T, and is sponsored by our very own 100% fuckboy proof. And today what we are going to be talking about is our theme for the month of July. Now, the theme is actually going to be called Staying in Sync with Your Goals. And the reason why I came up with that, to be honest with you, is we're in July, we're past the 6-month mark, and I'm pretty sure a few of us may have fallen off track with those goals that we set in the beginning of the year. It is normal, it happens, especially with COVID going on and these cases going up. It is very easy to get sidetracked. So, today, that is pretty much going to go with the theme is forming good habits. And those good habits are going to be some strategies that you can use that's going to help you stay in sync. Now, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So pretty much, again, my reason for selecting this topic is to keep everybody in sync with their goals. Because if you were like me, I actually got sidetracked myself. Yes, me, with everything that's going on around me. And of course, if you have kids like I do, at some point we actually had to become the teacher, the counselor, the psychiatrist, everything else that goes into it. And if you work a full-time job like I do, of course, your full-time job is going to require a lot of your time, right? So if you are setting those goals and you're not in sync with them and you are allowing those distractions to set in, obviously something is going to get put on a back burner, and it always tends to be some of our goals. So that's why I thought that this would be a really, really good segment to bring up, because with it being in July now, we don't really have much time. We have maybe about 5-6 months left of the year, and that's really not a lot of time. So we really got to get into it. All right. So now, before we start, one thing that I decided to do at the beginning of each segment is to say the affirmations. Now, for those of you that's not familiar with affirmations, I actually talked about it on one of our very first podcasts in the beginning, and it was pretty much directed towards becoming an agent of change by the way that you think. And I actually gave some ideas of different affirmations that you can use. And so again, if you didn't have the opportunity to take a look at it, or you're not familiar with what affirmations are pretty much things that you are going to say that trains the subconscious mind. And basically the subconscious mind, it determines how events play out in your life. It actually trains the way that you think, and it helps you to wean out the negativity and to focus on more of the positive things. And it also reshapes your mind by you focusing on those goals. So I jotted down some affirmations that is based solely off of our theme. And since it is staying in sync with your goals, here are some affirmations that I want you all to jot down. If you can grab a pencil and a paper, or you can replay this video, you might want to jot these affirmations down. So I'm going to read off 5 of them. The first one is, I will be observant and attentive throughout my entire day. I think that's self-explanatory. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We were all taught that as little kids, most of us. That's going to be the number one thing, that you have to be able to trust in your faith and know that, you know, God put you here for a reason, and he put everyone here with a purpose. Everyone is here for some reason, and they have some answer to someone's problem. So never think that you're just here just to be here. No, you have a reason why you're here. I can focus and concentrate at will. I release all negativity. Instead, I'm focusing on positivity and productivity. Now, this is a really good one because, again, every time you turn on the news or your cell phone or whatever have you, they're talking about COVID-19. They're talking about the elections. You have the protests that's going on, which is, by the way, a really good thing. But if you dwell on these things a little bit too long, negativity can tend to set in. It may change the way that you think, and it may get you off focus. So you want to be able to say these things to yourself, that I'm releasing all negativity. It doesn't matter what it is. The next one is, I am committed to being focused and achieving my goal. That means that no matter what, you are going to stay committed. And by you staying committed, that means that you are going to achieve whatever that goal is. I am a doer. I will take action and get things accomplished. Know that you are a doer, not just someone that starts projects and set them down and then you move on to something else. No, you are a doer. That means that you are a beginner and you are a finisher, and you are going to get your stuff accomplished, whatever that might be. And lastly, I will turn my dreams into goals. I will turn my goals into steps. I will turn my steps into actions, and I will complete those actions every day. Now, these are the affirmations that I wrote down that you all could certainly get started with. And if you have any others that you think will be helpful to the group, definitely comment below or DM me what those are, and I will certainly share them for next week's episode. All right. So now that we've gotten the affirmations out the way, I hope that you all jotted them down or closed your eyes and said them or repeated after me, because I want you to really get your mind focused on what it is that we're going to talk about today. So going into the affirmations and completing the affirmations, one thing I wanted to do was to give you some healthy habits that you would want to definitely develop or continue in order for you to remain in sync with those goals, whatever they are. So the first one that I like to bring up is always pray and meditate at the beginning of your day. Now, I do this religiously. I did not used to do that, and I will tell you that a lot has happened positively after I begun praying and meditating in the morning. And for those of you that is not familiar with meditation, I will tell you, because I suffer from anxiety, and a lot of times our minds tend to race and we tend to think about a lot. And so what has helped me is by YouTubing anxiety music or meditation music, and that will help you quiet your mind, and it will help you actually really just relax a little bit so that you can focus on whatever it is that you're saying. So now what I normally do is I will either do the meditation first and then prayer, or sometimes I'll go into prayer first and then I'll meditate. There's really no right or wrong way, but the best way to do your affirmations through meditation is to close your eyes and envision you doing exactly what you are saying. So if you are saying that I am going to stay focused and complete every task, you need to envision yourself doing just that. If you are saying that I am going to open up doors of opportunity and I am going to take that opportunity by the horns and I'm going to master it, you need to envision yourself doing that, because what you are now doing is manifesting things into your life. This is very, very important for any type of goals that you have, whether it is running a business or you just working on yourself or whatever it is that you want to do. You need to make sure that you are trusting and believing in your very words. The second one is to plan out your goals for the week and break them down by the day. Now, this is a big one for me because I tend to get sidetracked again. I told y'all this earlier. A lot of times with me being a single mom, and I was in school at one point, I work a full-time job, I have a lot of other things going on. Oh my goodness, distractions are just not going to go away. They're not. And so by me planning out my goals and breaking them down per day has helped me accomplish so much. So for instance, the podcast, right? That takes a lot of work and thinking. And what I normally do is I plan out what I'm going to talk about a week ahead. So I plan out my topic. I might pick Monday to just maybe think of a really good topic that would help you all. And then Tuesday, I would think of some different things that will go into that topic, like some tips or whatever that would help that's, uniform to the topic. And Wednesday, maybe think of some content or ways to market it. You name it. This is a way for you to give whatever it is that you are doing for the week 100%, and you're not stressing yourself out. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I am a person that I think of ideas 24/7, and I want to really tackle them all and get them all out there for everybody to enjoy. But the reality is we only have 24 hours in a day, and 24 hours is really not a lot of time, especially if you have other things that you need to juggle. So you really want to be able to make sure, again, that you are planning out whatever those goals are and break them down. Number 3 is focus on one thing at a time. We want to be that person that has everything in order, but the reality is it's impossible to give everything 100%. Now, this is something that my father taught me, and I was in denial. But it is true. You may be able to accomplish more than one thing, but to be able to give everything 100%, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I will say that it is a bit of a stretch. So if you are an entrepreneur, and I like to use that as an example because I'm one, and you want to start a business and you're like, oh my goodness, I have this great idea of a product that I really want to put out there, and you need to get your website together, and you need to form the legal structure of your business, and you need to do marketing. You want to be able to make sure you are not doing all of those things at once. Break those down one thing at a time. So what I would suggest is, if you are starting a business, be sure to form the legal structure of your business first, which means file for your EIN, make sure that you have your LLC or whatever, if you're a sole proprietor or whatever have you, have that in place. If you need to trademark, do that. One thing at a time. And once you have that done, then you can work on your website and make that pretty and add the products to it. You name it. One thing at a time though, guys. All right. All right, number 4 is to write down your ideas, no matter how big or small they are. Now, this is really, really important, and I'm going to tell you why. There has been many things that we've used on a daily basis that started out as a small idea. And if you've listened to many artists' interviews, some of the biggest records ended up being records that they didn't even like. I know one in particular, it was a record that, they almost took off the album and it ended up going platinum. So you really want to take every idea that comes to mind serious, treat it like the next big thing. And I will also suggest that you have a pen and paper handy on you constantly. Like for me, I have my pen and paper on the side of my bed, and unfortunately for me, a lot of the best ideas that I come up with is in the middle of my sleep, you all, where I've had to get up out my bed and reach over and grab my pen and my pad, and I've scribbled a lot of stuff in the dark. So when I wake up, I'm telling you, my handwriting is all over the darn paper, all over the lines and everything, because I'm in the middle of my sleep, but I don't want to lose that big idea. And I'm gonna tell you, if you try to remember it, it's never gonna be the same. Especially if you think of like a really good quote or a slogan or something like that, jot it down, because the next day, again, it's not going to be the same. Like, you're going to be trying your best to put something together, and you're going to be like, okay, you know what, dang, I know I'm missing something. Jot it down. It's never too small, trust me. Number 5 is discontinue spending too much leisure on social media platforms. Now, I like TikTok, I love IG, I love Facebook, I love other social media platforms, primarily IG. I am on it 24/7, but let me tell you, it can be a good thing, but it can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing, especially when you are not focused. And what I found myself doing is, in the beginning, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to get some inspiration. And so I'm scrolling using specific hashtags, and boy, some really interesting things comes up. But with that comes you clicking on multiple pages and scrolling through. And so now you look up and you spent about 30 minutes or so on social media. You haven't jotted down a thing, or maybe you've taken some mental notes or screenshots, but a lot of whatever your plan was initially before you got on IG has went out the window, and you're just scrolling through pages. On the flip side, it has caused a lot of people to be demotivated, because they may come across another page that is doing something similar, and then they might think that the other person's product is better. You all, even if you come across that, and it's 1,000,001 podcasts, but let me tell you, I believe in my podcast. I believe in my mission. I believe in what it is that I am doing. And so I am not going to allow it, whatever it is that someone is doing, to deter me from whatever my vision is. But I know that it is a reality. A lot of times we will look at other people's pages, even in your personal life, and you see someone that has maybe the pant size that you want, or the bra size that you want, and you're like, oh my gosh, like her body is adorable, or man, that product that they have out there is awesome. And then you look up and you've gotten discouraged. Use that as motivation, but do not allow it to distract you, okay? It is, no one posts their struggle on social media. I just don't believe it. And if they do, then good for them. But not everybody posts the background of their business and the many things that they have to endure while running a business, or even a goal as far as losing weight or whatever. No one posts the struggle. So do not allow yourself to get distracted or worse, demotivated by looking at these different pages. All right. And last and not least, but most importantly, is no matter what, do not quit. Okay. We have to get out of the habit of becoming quitters or procrastinators. I look at procrastination the same as quitting. Let me tell you why. Because a lot of times when you procrastinate on doing something, it is because you are giving yourself a reason to stop, or a reason not to do it, or whatever reason. And a procrastinator to me is a quitter. It does not matter, again, how many people is doing what you are doing. You have a reason, and it is a reason why God gave you that gift to go after it. Take a look at the grocery stores. Look at how many bread companies are on the shelf. Or look at how many different shoes are made, or earrings, or hair, for goodness sake, or makeup, you name it. If everyone thought that, oh my gosh, I don't want to do makeup or hair or whatever have you because everyone else is doing it, then we would be very, very limited with products. And it is so much money to be made out here. And this is just specifically to you entrepreneurs. It is a lot of money to be made out here, and people are going to buy into you and who you are. So quitting is not an option, because if I find out that you are one of my people and you are quitting, I'm going to personally find you. And I am going to grab you out that hole, and we are going to get through this together, because the whole purpose of 100% F-Way Proof is by reshaping the way that women think and getting a lot of us back to realizing who we are and recognizing the power that we have, so that we are able to use that power to empower other women. It is about becoming whole. It is about the 4 bases of becoming the table. The table is made up of 4 legs. Those 4 legs are your faith, your finances, your friendships, which means your association, and your self-care. And this month, because we are talking about staying in sync with your goals, falls under all 4, because your goals can either be self-care, your goals can be getting the right people around you, your goals can be about you getting your finances in order, or your goals can be about just strengthening your faith. Whatever it is that is going to get you complete as a woman, to where you are no longer entertaining F-boys and you know what you deserve and who you are, that is what is going to give you that push to go after whatever it is that you are trying to do. Okay. And that is why I do what I do. So you got the mission why I do what I do. So be sure to make sure that you support and share our page, and definitely DM me and let me know what it is that you all are doing and what category you are working on out of the 4 legs. It's not about what you bring to the table. I wish a person would ask me, what do I bring to the table? It's not what I bring to the table. I am the table. And I believe that 2 tables are better than 1, which gives room for more people to eat. If you just have 1 table and you're just adding things on top of someone else's table, but you're just a provider, it's almost like driving someone else's car that you don't own. Be the table. And everything that you build upon in those 4 legs that I just named are going to allow you to create fruit to add on top of your table, right? So anyway, that pretty much concludes our segment for today. I hope that you all were able to get some really good tips that I gave. I try not to keep these segments too long. I'm a straight shooter. I like to get straight to the point. But next week, we are actually going to talk about educating yourself on those goals. And so just to give you a brief overview, when you are setting out to do something, you need to do the background on it. So I will use, let's just say, getting healthy. If you want to focus on eating healthy, then you need to research some healthy foods that you should start eating. If you want to start a business, you need to do your research on ways to start a business, different tips. I'll be giving those on my podcast segments as well too, just to give you all a head start. And you can always DM me if you have any business tips or business questions. But next week we are going to actually break it down and give you all tips on ways that you can educate yourself, because again, that is going to help you stay in sync with your goals. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you all next week on the next episode of A Breath of Fresh Lies.